Take that as a yes. Perfect. Very good. Brilliant. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for the lettings launch of Wardian. I'm not going to keep you too long, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, just to run through this exciting new development that we're going to start marketing, as I said, from this afternoon. I thought the 2 p.m. lull would be a good time to kick things off, especially now as we ease out of the lockdown. And wouldn't it have been lovely to live somewhere with lots of trees and plants and outdoor space? And on that note, yeah, let's get started. Billy, next slide, please. In the midst of the skyscrapers and waterways of Canary Wharf, Wardian offers an oasis of nature, comprising of 2 iconic towers with restaurants, shops, and stunning facilities. The vision was to create a new address like no other, a haven of peace and beauty in the heart of London. Where did the name Wardian come from? Well, the design was inspired by the work of one Londoner, the great explorer Nathaniel Bagshaw Ward. A doctor by trade, he changed the world with his botanical glass container, the Wardian case. The vision for the Wardian was taken from inspiration from his curiosity and adventure to create the most exciting new development in London. Next slide, please, Billy. Every resident of the Wardian will be a member of the Wardian Club, unlocking access to exclusive first-class facilities. A private dining area, an iconic pool, and a rooftop bar comprise just a few of the highlights. Membership grants access to a range of glamorous spaces where guests might be entertained, business ideas exchanged, and new collaborations dreamed up. Framed by the spectacular exotic gardens, these amenities take inspiration from Wardian's pioneering spirit of adventure, discovery, and luxury. Next slide, please, Billy. The open air pool at Wardian is both a sanctuary and a serious facility for the dedicated swimmer. A fantastic pool design, it offers 25 meters of athletic standard swimming amidst 100 species of exotic plants and trees. The serene space, framed by the leafy canopies, adds to a haven of watery beauty, to the already stunning blend of luxury and botany. The design makes for a 5-star experience with changing rooms linked directly to the pool by both walkways and waterways. You can swim to and from the pool without ever standing in the open air. Next slide, Billy. For meeting friends, reading, or working to the backdrop of an amazing view, the roof garden is a perfect venue. Stylish decor with a nod to classic vintage. Here you can entertain guests in the dining area surrounded by a Wardian case containing the most exotic of the building's many indoor gardens. Next slide, please. The resident cinema at Wardian will show new and classic movies, as well as live sporting events. It can even be booked for private screenings. And for all you gamers out there, you can even plug in your game console for an epic gaming experience. Next slide, please. The gym at Wardian is the centerpiece of the vast array of health and fitness facilities. It also includes a spa, a steam room, and the equipment is state-of-the-art, incorporating weights, treadmills, and all of the sporting facilities that you'd expect from a top-tier gym. It even has a yoga room, and I hear some classes will even take place in the stunning setting of the roof garden. Next slide, please. Now for the important part, the apartments at Wardian combine contemporary elegance with a subtle Wardian signature touches. Kitchen cabinets incorporating glass cases designed to echo the garden cases downstairs. Each apartment comes complete with a generous private garden that can play host to a beautiful landscape of plants and flowers. Floor-to-ceiling windows maximize the view and flood the apartments with natural light. Most apartments are offered furnished, but we do have a number of unfurnished homes for those of you who have your own bits and pieces. Next slide, please. I'll quickly run you through the typical apartments that we have on offer, starting with the suites. Now, they do vary in size, but typically they're about 395 square foot, floor-to-ceiling windows, and a large private balcony. Next slide, please. The one bedroom apartments here are really big for this area, typically 550 square foot. And again, floor to ceiling windows and a large private balcony, really large actually. The balconies here are massive. Next slide, please. The two bedroom apartments, they vary a great deal in size, but again, really big for this area, averaging 1,000 square foot. That's quite unheard of for Canary Wharf. And again, typically a huge wraparound terrace or garden as we call them. Again, absolutely incredible views from the floor to ceiling windows from these properties here. Next slide there. So these properties they're all individually owned by, they're all owned by individual private landlords. And the rental prices, well, they're quite consistent. Typically rents rise as we move up through a building. This is something that we call the view premium. You'll find this most properties, the properties at the top are a little bit more expensive than the ones at the bottom. And rents also increase in line with square foot as you can imagine. But these are the typical rent ranges that you can expect to pay in Wardian. So the suites start at about 425 and they go up to around £500 per week. Again, give or take, could be a little bit more than that, could be a little bit less. One bedroom apartments, around 500 per week, up to about 600 per week. And again, a little bit here and there. Typically 500 towards the lower floors, 600 towards the higher floors. The two bedroom apartments, they start at about 725 per week and they go up to about 925 per week. And there is some penthouses. There's two bedroom penthouses and there's three bedroom penthouses. There's not many of them and it's best just to get in touch with us directly, just to get a bit of an idea on the price and the availability for the penthouse apartments. Next slide there, please. Next slide, please, sir, Billy. Oh, sorry. Renting with Johns&Co. So yeah, to give you a bit of an idea, I'm now going to hand you over to my lettings negotiator, Sebastian Callow. He'll give you an idea of the lettings process and how to secure one of these properties. He'll run you through the typical process for anybody who hasn't rented a new home before, just to give you a bit of an idea and how we'll do things here. So yeah, I'll move over and let my colleague Sebastian move into shot.
Cheers. Hey, so yeah, if you're renting in the Wardian, you'll probably be dealing with myself or my colleague Arnaldo. And I know everyone's basically familiar with letting, but you might not have taken something in a brand new development before. So it's just a little bit different. Typically, you'll get in touch, either you'll send an inquiry through Rightmove or give us a call and we'll talk through your requirements, see what works for you, and then book in a viewing somewhere. That usually requires getting access from the current tenants, going to see it, and then if you like it, you can put an offer forward and we can get something agreed. That's going to be slightly different in this case, particularly in the first stage of completions and in particular, the first few flats available. So we can't get in the building. They're still completing the downstairs and the properties are still waiting for the final completions of the paperwork from buy-to-let investors, which is typically the final transfer of funds, the final 80%. We can be pretty accurate about when that's going to happen, and then the furniture can be installed if a furniture pack comes with it. So we'll know when the availability dates are, but it will be available to view and move into on the same date. What that means is if you want one, yes, particularly the first few properties in the first completion, you'll have to put an offer in without seeing it. We can give you the floor plan, tell you which way it's facing, but you would have to make a decision ahead of time. As things move forward just a little bit, we'll have a few properties that have completed, and we'll probably have offers agreed on those ones already, but the tenants haven't moved in yet, which means if you're looking a little bit into the future, what we can do is show you a property that has already completed, but the tenants haven't moved in, with a view to letting something else where the completion's a little bit further along. Again, in this case, you can see a little bit more, you can go inside the building, you can see the property, but you might not see the property that you'd be taking. And this is how it plays out. We're familiar with this process because we have a very close relationship with Ballymore. So we've had Royal Wharf, London City Island, Embassy Gardens, and this is how it generally plays out. I know some of you will be thinking, I want to see the actual flat with my own eyes and walk into it and feel it before I take it. And for sure, you know, it's nice to walk in and see it firsthand, but there are a couple of disadvantages to that. One being that you know, a lot of you are going to have an availability date that you're trying to work with. And if you wait until that property completes, there's a good chance that it'll be taken ahead of time. If it does happen to still be available and you can walk in and see it, there'll be a few other people walking in and seeing it that day, and you might have 3 or 4 offers going in at the same time, in which case then you're having to look at another property and another completion date, and you might not be able to get things to line up in terms of your particular move dates. The advantages of taking something ahead of time is that you can line those things up. And I would just say, having a lot of experience letting properties in Royal Wharf, London City Island, and speaking to all our negotiators across the board, when someone moves into a brand new development, a Ballymore development, which is one of the premium developers in London, and you've got a brand new flat with a brand new furniture pack, no one's ever disappointed. There's some of the times when we get our 5-star Google reviews, because, you know, who doesn't want something that's brand new and everything is in good condition and working, you know that for sure. Yeah, so that's the kind of decision. I just want to put it out there as in terms of how you're going to have to play it. You're either going to have to take something ahead of time, and as I say, you know, our experience with other developments, as things move along, all the properties start to get let before their availability dates. That's typically how it plays out. The first few, you know, people might be a little bit hesitant, but as things move along, you'll be seeing them getting snapped up ahead of time. So you have to think about how you want to play it in terms of putting an offer forward ahead of time, or waiting and then potentially risking not lining up your availability date.
Very good. Thank you very much, Sebastian. Yes, so Sebastian's one of our links negotiators here. So if you call through, you can ask to speak to him, or Arnaldo Bolivar, who you may be able to see on screen as well. Yeah, and again, just to give you a bit of a recap. So with the new homes, new build development like this, the developer is Eco World Ballymore. Typically the process is these properties will be available to rent from towards the end of August, and completions will then take place right the way through to January or so. But initially, the properties that will be available in August and September, they won't be available to view. They'll be let by the time they complete. And then there'll be a few left over for the following months. So yeah, I mean, if you do want to rent a property in there, you call through, we can run you through call through after, send through an email to Wardian@Johns&Co, and we'll give you a bit of an idea exactly what we have available for you within your budget. And we'll give you a bit of an idea on what way it's going to view, the furniture pack that's going to be going in there as well. And yeah, the reservation process is very straightforward, very, very straightforward. And so is the referencing process and all of the paperwork. Everything's electronic. So yeah, really, really good, easy peace of mind. So yeah, hopefully that's been very helpful for you today. To give you a bit of an idea on the Wardian. As I said, we're going to start launching this development now on the portals. And yeah, I think we're going to have a very late night tonight here in the office, registering people and getting you guys signed up. So yeah, send an email over to Wardian@Johns&Co. If you want to speed things up a little bit, give us an idea of your budget, how much you're looking to spend, what it is exactly that you're after, furnished, unfurnished, 1 bed, 2 beds. Do you want to be in the top of the building, lower building, mid floor? And yeah, and we'll get in touch and take your details and match you up with the right property for you. So yeah, very good. That's it from me, and I hope to deal with you all very shortly. All the best now. Bye-bye.